Hello, and welcome to the Stories of Northern Life podcast, brought to you by the Sault Ste. Marie Museum. I'm your host, Nicole, and today I bring you another episode in our Queer Project series. So today I had the pleasure of interviewing Austin. He is a trans man here to tell you the story about growing up in the Sault, through his journey of transitioning and how he found a wonderful and supportive community here in the Sault. So let's get into the episode. Warning: the following contains discussions of discrimination, BIPOC, sex identity, explicit language, and other mature content. Listener discretion is advised, especially for those under 13. We have kept these interviews intact to preserve the voices of our guests. Okay, so we are ready to go. Can you state your full name and preferred pronouns?
So my name is Austin Sault. My pronouns are he, him.
And then, only if you're comfortable, can you tell me how you identify?
I identify as a pansexual transgender man.
And when and where were you born?
I was born here in Sault Ste. Marie, also known as Boateng, on March 8, 1994.
And so, what was it like growing up in the Sault?
Pretty good experience, I'd say. A lot of history here, and that's always awesome to learn.
Mm. And now, when you were growing up, did you sort of identify as part of the queer community, or, and this could be you being out, or even just sort of recognizing that in yourself, sort of?
So I was never out about it, but I always recognized it internally. Gender identity has something that I've always struggled with from 12 years old, especially when I first hit puberty, basically. Mm-hmm. So that was a very challenging time in my life, I want to say.
Mm-hmm. And so with that, did you feel any sort of like support, like within your family, your friend group, and then sort of just like within the broader community? Like, did you feel that you were able to talk about it, or that you knew, like had any resources to know what was going on, sort of?
So at that age, I just really kept that to myself because I didn't know if having those kind of thoughts were normal, and I didn't know anyone else that had these very similar thoughts as me. Mm-hmm. So I just really kept it to myself for many years.
Mm-hmm. And what school did you go to?
Okay, many. So elementary school, I attended St. Teresa's. For high school, I attended St. Basil's Secondary. And I also attended Prince Charles for adult ed to receive my grade 12.
Okay. And what neighborhood in the Sault sort of did you grow up in?
So I grew up as an extend kid.
Okay.
I grew up on Kerr Drive, basically. Great area of town.
Yep.
Yeah.
So how did you find like your neighborhood too? Did you like, was there sort of like lots to do? Did you sort of have like the friends in the group there?
Yeah, I had a friend group, and there was always something to do. There were so many different parks that we could go chill at, and I was always the kind that loved skateboarding. I was always playing basketball. Even my favorite game to play at the park was Grounder. Even though I was horrible at it, it was still a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Honestly.
All right. So when you were younger, what did you want to be when you grew up?
Oh, wow. I wanted to grow up to be famous, oddly enough, in some sort of way. But that's mostly it.
Yeah. And so, like, when did you start to come out?
So I started my journey coming out at first as identified as a lesbian at a young age of 19, going on 20. And then as I got older, I couldn't fight the feeling and keep it down about who I truly was. I felt like coming out as lesbian was more of a safer option than coming out as transgender. So once I turned 28, I'm like, I can't keep doing who I am. This is who I am, and I came out as transgender.
Now, was that partly why you didn't come out as early? Was because there was maybe a lack of resources here to help you sort of understand like what being trans is, what gender identity really is, gender dysphoria, things like that?
Yeah, I found the resources here were really lacking at the time. So that's why it took me a bit longer of wanting to come out, so to say. So,
and then when you did come out, how did you find those resources? Did you find that we sort of had enough here, or do you have to almost try to go outside of the community?
I thought there's a good support system here. I talked with multiple people within the community and got a lot of support and great feedback from them. So,
yeah. And so was your family accepting, your friends?
My family is really accepting of who I am. Friend group wise, yes and no. I've lost some along the way, but that's just reality. That's just how it is. But I gained new ones along the way as well. So,
and then how is the sort of medical transition side here? Is that sort of different than the social? Like, because social, those sometimes are a little bit easier resources for communities to set up, but how is the medical side? Is like, how did you find that here?
So I'm just going to talk based off of my personal experience about that. So me wanting to look into medically transitioning, I didn't know where to start. So honestly, the first thing I did was call my doctor's office and set up an appointment to speak with my doctor about that. And let me tell you, it's nerve-wracking, not only come out to your family, but also to your doctor. Because you don't know if they're accepting or not, right? And what their views are on it. So I found that to be kind of nerve-wracking, but that honestly went really, really well for me. I did do the appointment with my doctor. Told her, hey, I'm transgender. I'm looking to possibly starting my medical transition. How can you help support me with this? She thanked me for coming out and said that was really brave of me. And she offered for us to look into starting testosterone. So I told her I'm going to sit on it, think about it, do more research on it, and I'll call you back. And not long after, I did do the appointment, and they were really professional about it. They gave me all the information about the hormone replacement therapy. Basically, there could be a risk of certain factors. So she went over that with me. I did blood work, and then she went through with me again, making sure this is something I really wanted to do, and gave me more information, repeated some of the information from last time. And I said, yeah, this is me. I feel ready. Let's get the show on the road. Start my medical transition.
And then, with your transition, did you also start to sort of document that on TikTok?
Actually, I did. It started out with me coming out to basically where I am now. I do voice updates. I did voice updates every month for the first year to track of how slowly my voice was starting to become more masculine being on testosterone, what were some of the physical changes I was going through. Even milestones in my transition I've shared on there, like going through my legal name change and change of gender marker, the process I went through with looking into gender affirming care surgery for top surgery. So like how I got OHIP forms to help get some of that covered. Shared that I got a call saying the coverage got approved, and I'll never recall how my referral went through out of town for a place in Mississauga. And I've been on the wait list now for a consultation appointment with that for about 15, 16 months now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then, so with all of this, do you feel that our community here was fairly accepting? So was that acceptance sort of different when you came out as a lesbian to when you came out as trans?
I got a lot of support. There's some people within our trans community here that set me up with gender affirming things I needed, like trans tape, a binder, like just a bunch of stuff, and it helped a lot, honestly, and it felt really affirming, and it felt great to know that there's supports like that here in the community. Like us always looking up for one another and supporting each other in that way.
And do you feel anything like within the broader community, how things have sort of been changing? Like, how has that sort of affected you, especially with what's going on in the States?
Not gonna lie, it scares me. And us being a small border town, we get the echo effect here. You know, it's happening right in our own backyard. It scares me. There's some days where I feel like maybe I need to stop sharing about my transition journey and start going stealth for safety reasons, unfortunately. But I still try fight letters and still talk about my transition journey, give people hope, kind of thing. You know, like, this is just a bump in the road. Our community has been through worse. We can get past this, you know. So,
yeah. And so how do you feel like you've been sort of like forging your own path with this? Have you felt that by doing all this, you just sort of feel different, feel happier, feel better, and just with also like sharing your journey online, like feel that it's also helping to share that online?
yeah, like, I feel a lot more happy and comfortable with who I am. My confidence has skyrocketed. Like, I've never felt so much confidence and felt so comfortable in my body now that I'm transitioning. It feels good how I feel on the inside. It's now slowly matching the outside.
Yeah.
So it's been a really good, positive journey, hands down, and it's always good that my family's utmost support with it as well. Definitely. I just want to talk about what it's like sharing about my transition journey on TikTok. So there is pros and cons about it. There's positive things about it and negative things about it. So even though you're posting your transition online and sharing with others, you know, to help those in your age group, you know, there's always going to be some sort of backlash. I have gotten hate comments on my videos and also private messages. So if you're going to talk about the medical transition journey on a platform, I recommend you take some safety steps. So for me personally, I set my comments on TikTok to people that I only follow back and comment, and set your inbox to like no one can send you messages. Because after a while you see so much transphobic comments and hate messages, it does take a toll on your mental health. So make sure you always put yourself and your mental health first. That's all I gotta say about that. Just be mindful and cautious, because not everyone is accepting, and they may feel uncomfortable with the subject and just wanna blurt out whatever they want to blurt out in your comment section or private DMs.
Okay. And now, if anyone is sort of wanting to like explore maybe about like their gender dysphoria, start looking at that. Do you have any sort of tips that you found have helped to get it within the community, but even sort of that like family medical communities or anything that you want to?
So I recommend talking to someone that you feel like is a safe space. So if you feel like a certain friend or family member is a safe space to talk about and are accepting of our community and stuff, definitely talk to them and get great advice from them. Also, if you see a counselor for whatever reason that might be, definitely speak to your counselor about it and they can help with some resources as well. And just get more involved here locally. Check out all the different Pride events that go on, either with Sault Pride or the club. Just really reach into your community more, and that'll help you a lot.
And do you want to talk about anything else?
Just that our city here needs more supports here for our community. When you want gender affirming surgery, it's sad that you have to travel out of town more than 7 hours away, whether it's in Toronto, Mississauga, Montreal, wherever you go. And I feel like there should be more stuff like that closer to home because not everyone can always afford to travel. Those are high costs. And then having to pay either for an Airbnb or a hotel for recovery for however long, maybe down like 10 days or more, So that's something I think our city really needs to work on a bit more, is providing those kind of supports.
Yeah,
I find.
All right. Is there anything else?
Not that I can think of, no.
All right. So I will leave you off with the question that we ask everyone.
Sure.
So if in 100 years the museum was ever to do an exhibit on you, what would the title of your exhibit be? Maybe the tagline, and then 3 artifacts that best represent you.
Oh, I'm gonna have fun with this. Okay. It would say Austin's life. And the 3 artifacts needs to be a cup of Timmy's coffee, a bag of crispy onions, because I love putting crispy onions on my sandwiches, and maybe a little testosterone vial in that display with it as well.
Right. Wow, you thought of those very fast. Perfect.
Thank you.
All right. So, yeah, this is great. So, we are all good.
Awesome.
If you enjoyed this episode, you might like our blog too. Head over to our website, Sault Museum, that's SAULT museum.ca, and look under Discover. You will find our blog, Museum Musings. We share short synopsis of influential people, historic places, and impactful events in our history. Pictures are always included, and you will be sure to learn a little something new with each post.
Today's quote comes from Algoma Central Railway by O.S. Knock. This quote is from March 1952, made by Earl Orchard, chairman of the Sault Ste. Marie Board of Education, at the opening of F.H. Clergue Public School. Quote, Mr. Clergue lost control of the enterprises and a few years afterward retired from the scene of his labors here to promote others elsewhere. At no time, however, did these later undertakings approach the size and grandeur of the schemes he set going in the Algoma wilderness. This was the scene of his greatest efforts, his greatest triumphs, his greatest failures. Francis Hector Clergue belongs and will ever belong to Sault Ste. Marie, our founder and first citizen. It is against his background here that he may well be called a mighty builder of Canada. End quote.